If at 60 years old you can still do these 6 exercises, you will live to 100. Have you ever stopped to think that in our current society, dominated by sedentary lifestyles and health neglect, many people can barely perform basic movements even at 30 years old? Now imagine at 60, when the natural loss of muscle mass has already begun to take effect. Research indicates that after 60 years of age, about 65% of adults already report chronic pain in the lower back, knees, or joints. It's an alarming statistic. So today you will see 6 exercises that, if you can perform them after 60, are a strong indication that your body is in excellent shape and that you have a long and healthy life ahead. But before we begin, please tell us through the comments your name and the city from where you are viewing our content. Exercise number 6, mountain climber. The mountain climber is more than a simple cardiovascular exercise. It's a true test of coordination, core strength, and endurance. If you're over 60 years old and can perform this movement with good form, that's a great sign. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity in 2021 followed 248 adults over 60 years of age for a period of 8 years and discovered that those capable of performing high-intensity exercises with coordinated limb movement, such as the mountain climber, showed a 32% lower risk of all-cause mortality. This is no coincidence. This exercise simultaneously works your core, quadriceps, shoulders, and cardiovascular system, strengthening fundamental areas for functional independence. What makes this exercise so valuable for people over 60 years old is its ability to improve dynamic stability. Think about it. How many falls happen because a person loses balance while moving? How many people lose their independence due to fractures from these falls? That's right. The mountain climber trains your body to maintain stability even during complex movements. To execute correctly, start in a plank position, with hands aligned below the shoulders. Keep your back straight, like a table, without raising your hips. Now, bring one knee toward your chest, return to the starting position, and alternate with the other leg. A common mistake is letting the hips rise, turning the exercise into a sort of inclined climb. Another mistake is forcing the lumbar spine, creating excessive curvature. Keep your abdomen contracted throughout the movement to protect your back. To start, begin with 20 seconds, alternating legs slowly. Rest and repeat 3 times. As your endurance increases, extend to 30-40 seconds, eventually reaching 1 minute continuously. The more advanced progression includes variations such as the crossbody mountain climber, where you bring your knee toward the opposite elbow, adding rotation and a greater challenge to your core. Exercise 5, jump rope. Jump rope is much more than a simple childhood game. It's an extraordinary test of coordination, cardiorespiratory endurance, and musculoskeletal health. If at 60 years old you can jump rope for at least 1 minute continuously, believe me, that's great. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed 386 adults between 60 and 70 years old for a decade and discovered that those capable of performing low-impact plyometric exercises, such as jumping rope, showed 18% greater bone density in the femur and lumbar spine compared to those who limited themselves to walking. Besides its ability to combine cardiovascular, bone, and neurological benefits in a single exercise, jumping rope is a portable and accessible activity that can be performed practically anywhere, making it ideal for maintaining consistency. To execute correctly, hold the ends of the rope with hands positioned approximately at hip height. The movement should come mainly from the wrists, not the entire arms. Jump just enough to let the rope pass. About 2 to 3 centimeters from the ground is ideal. Land on the front part of your feet, never with the heels, allowing the ankles, knees, and hips to absorb the impact like springs. A common mistake is jumping too high, which unnecessarily increases impact and wastes excess energy. Another frequent misconception is keeping the body rigid. Your knees should remain slightly flexed throughout the exercise, functioning as natural shock absorbers. To start, begin without the rope, simply practicing the movement of jumping softly, landing on the front part of your feet. When you feel comfortable, add the rope and try to complete 10 consecutive jumps. Rest and repeat. As you develop endurance, gradually increase to 20, 30, and eventually 60 continuous seconds. Exercise 4, Child's pose. The child's pose may seem simple at first glance, but its ability to reveal and develop flexibility in the spine, hips, and shoulders is extraordinary. For someone over 60 years old, being able to perform this pose comfortably is a strong indicator of joint health and longevity. Dr. Stuart McGill, a renowned spine specialist, highlights in his research that the child's pose is one of the safest and most effective exercises for relieving pressure on the intervertebral discs and relaxing the paravertebral muscles. He observed that patients with chronic lower back pain who practiced this pose for just 30 seconds, several times a day, reported significant improvement in mobility and pain reduction. I also have the case of Carlos, a 65-year-old former athlete who suffered from severe spine stiffness after decades of impact sports. He began practicing the child's pose for just 20 seconds, with great discomfort. After 6 months of daily practice, he could maintain the position for 5 minutes comfortably and reported having recovered the ability to play on the floor with his grandchildren, something he couldn't do for years. Another benefit is that the child's pose is not just a physical exercise, but also a powerful mental relaxation tool, reducing levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which is known to accelerate cellular aging. To execute correctly, kneel on the floor with knees apart approximately at hip width, sit on your heels, breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, lean your torso forward, bringing your forehead toward the floor. Extend your arms forward or let them rest beside your body with palms facing up. Allow your chest to rest between your thighs and your breathing to become deep and rhythmic. A common mistake is forcing the shoulders down, creating unnecessary tension in the neck. To start, begin by holding the position for 30 seconds, paying attention to your breathing. Over time, gradually increase to 1 to 3 minutes. If you feel discomfort in your knees, place a soft cushion under them or between your thighs and calves. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will help you progress with long-term health in the world of bodybuilding. Exercise 3, side plank. If you can maintain a side plank with good form for at least 20 seconds on each side, that's a strong indicator that your stabilizer muscles are in excellent condition, something crucial for longevity. A longitudinal study published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science followed 176 adults over 65 years old for 7 years and discovered that those with strong oblique and transverse abdominal muscles, exactly the muscles worked in the side plank, had 41% less incidence of falls and injuries related to postural instability. The study concluded that lateral core strength is one of the best predictors of independent mobility in old age. The development of lateral core strength, developed by the side plank, is particularly important for everyday activities such as getting out of bed, getting in and out of the car, or recovering balance after stumbling, skills that can literally save your life as you age. This movement was the flagship when I helped a 68-year-old retired teacher who had undergone hip surgery. Initially, she could barely maintain the modified position for 5 seconds. After 4 months of consistent practice, she not only mastered the full version for 30 seconds on each side, but her physiotherapist noticed a significant improvement in pelvic stability during walking, a crucial factor for preventing future injuries. To execute correctly, lie on your side on the floor. Support your forearm on the ground, with the elbow aligned directly below the shoulder. Stack your feet one on top of the other. Lift your hips, creating a straight line from your ankles to your shoulders. Keep your abdomen contracted and don't allow your hips to sink toward the floor. One of the most common mistakes is letting the hips drop or raising them too much, losing body alignment. Another frequent mistake is allowing the supporting shoulder to sink toward the ear, which can cause tension in the neck and trapezius. To start, begin by supporting the knee that is closest to the ground, reducing the lever, and making the exercise more accessible. Maintain the position for 10 seconds on each side, rest, and repeat 3 times. As you develop strength, progress to the version with extended legs, gradually increasing the time to 20, 30, and eventually 45 seconds per side. Exercise 2. Decline push-up. Push-ups are a great exercise, but decline push-ups are another level. For someone who is 30 years old, it's not difficult to perform them. Well, at least it shouldn't be. But if you can do them at 60, that's a different story. This demonstrates superior trunk strength, shoulder stability, and good mobility, all indicators of physical longevity. A study from the University of Tokyo published in 2020 revealed that elderly people with good upper body strength showed a lower incidence of fractures from falls, as they could use their arms to cushion the impact or even completely avoid the fall. Another research conducted by Harvard University and published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine followed more than 1,100 men for 40 years and discovered that those capable of performing at least 10 push-ups had a 96% lower risk of developing cardiovascular diseases compared to those who couldn't do even one. In the decline version, where the feet are elevated, the benefits are even more pronounced, as it is a more difficult version, thus providing greater activation of the upper chest muscles and deltoids. To execute correctly, position your hands on the floor, a little wider than shoulder width. Place your feet on a bench, couch, or step, creating a decline with your body. Keep your body straight, like a board, from your heels to your head. Bend your elbows, bringing your chest toward the floor, and then extend your arms to return to the starting position. The most common mistakes include letting the hip drop, which puts excessive pressure on the lower back, or raising the shoulders toward the ears, which can cause tension in the neck. It is also fundamental not to completely lock the elbows at the top of the movement to maintain constant tension in the muscles and protect the joints. To start, you can begin with a modified version, doing the push-up with your knees on the floor and only your feet elevated. Perform 3 sets of 5 repetitions, with 60-second pauses between them. As you develop strength, advance to the full version, gradually increasing the number of repetitions. To progress beyond the basic decline push-up, you can experiment with pauses at the lowest point of the movement, increasing the time under tension, or elevating your feet even more to increase the load on the upper body. Exercise 1. Bulgarian Split Squat. The Bulgarian Split Squat is an advanced exercise that tests not only strength, but also balance and coordination. If you are over 60 years old and can perform this movement with good technique, that's a strong indicator of neuromuscular health. Unlike the traditional squat, this version works each leg unilaterally. The development of unilateral strength is crucial for everyday activities such as climbing stairs, getting up from a chair, or recovering balance after a stumble, fundamental skills for maintaining your independence as you age. To execute correctly, position yourself with your back to a stable bench or chair. Place one foot behind, supporting only the top part of the foot on the elevated surface. The other foot should be in front, at a distance that allows forming a 90-degree angle with the knee when you descend. Keep your torso upright. Descend by flexing both knees, and then return to the starting position by pushing through the heel of the front leg. The most common mistakes include letting the front knee advance beyond the toe, which increases pressure on the joint, or allowing the trunk to lean excessively forward. Another frequent mistake is not descending enough, limiting the benefits of the exercise. To start, begin using a lower surface, such as a thick book or a small step. Perform 5 repetitions on each leg, with support on a wall or chair to assist with balance. As you develop strength and confidence, gradually increase the height of the rear support and the number of repetitions. To progress beyond the basic Bulgarian split squat, you can add weights in your hands, increasing resistance. Bonus exercise, glute bridge. If you can perform this movement with good form and without discomfort, this suggests that your posterior muscles such as glutes, hamstrings, and spinal erectors are working harmoniously, something crucial for longevity. Research conducted at the University of Waterloo and published in the journal Spine demonstrated that individuals with weakness in the glutes are 5 times more likely to develop chronic lower back pain throughout life. Did you know that the gluteus maximus, besides being the largest muscle in the human body, is a crucial stabilizer of the pelvis and lumbar spine? It acts as a kind of natural support system for the lower structures of the spine. Strengthening this posterior region is also fundamental for functional activities such as getting up from chairs, climbing steps, or walking for prolonged periods. To execute correctly, it's very simple. Lie on your back with knees bent and feet flat on the floor at hip width. Keep your arms at your sides, palms down. Contract your glutes and lift your hips until forming a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Hold the position for 2 to 3 seconds at the top, really feeling the contraction in your glutes, before descending in a controlled manner. A common mistake is excessively using the lower back muscles instead of the glutes, which can cause back pain. Another frequent misconception is raising the hips too much, creating hyperextension in the lumbar spine. The key is to maintain a straight line, not an arch. To start, begin with short bridges, lifting just a few centimeters from the ground. Perform 10 repetitions, holding each lift for 2 seconds. As you develop strength, gradually increase the height of the lift and the time held at the top, eventually reaching 5 seconds per repetition. To progress beyond the basic bridge, you can experiment with the unilateral version, extending one leg while maintaining the elevation with the other. These exercises that you've seen are not just physical movements, but powerful indicators of strength, mobility, balance, and coordination, all crucial elements for a long and independent life. Remember that it's never too late to start. If you tried any of these exercises and discovered that you still can't perform them completely, this only indicates specific areas that can be strengthened. Start with the modified versions I mentioned and progress gradually. Consistency, not perfection, is what really matters. The science is clear. Staying physically active is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity and quality of life. Integrate these movements into your routine, even if initially it's just for a few minutes daily. If you liked this and also want to discover 6 isometric positions that can strengthen your entire lower body, we have a video appearing right now on the screen showing each of them. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.